1, 2, 3, 4.
Punkt. You know, it's a simple word. It's a word that's not, as a word, is not that actually special. It's just, I just have a personal relationship to this word. It's the first word I fell in love with in German. And for a long time, it was like the only word I really just loved. I loved this word. It was, first of all, it means point. Okay, that's all it is. It means point. It's a period in a letter, after the full stop period. It's a Punkt. It's you put a dot on the paper, that's a Punkt. You have polka dots in your address with polka dots. But it's spelled P-U-N-K, like punk, T. And it was just this combination of NKT at the end that fascinated me. Because we really don't have that in English. It's 3 consonants, one after the other. Punkt, Punkt. And it's just, I like saying it. It's a Punkt, Punkt. It's the sound, it's the sensuality, kind of this percussion of the tongue moving through the mouth, hitting the palate everywhere, and then spitting it out in Punkt in the end. And I remember falling in love with this word. I learned German. I started learning German. I learned, I took 2 or 3 years of German class in high school in Hawaii, in Kailua, and it was horror. It was terror. It was horrible. It was the worst class. Well, after math that I ever took, it was just miserable. German, it's so complicated. It has these cases, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative. It's just, and then each word has an article, so a different gender in the articles. It does not the dog. It's the she dog or the he dog or the it dog, and every noun has this gender article. Der Tisch means table, but it's a male table. Why would it be male? Why, because it has legs? Or, why would it? And what about Fräulein or Mädchen, which is girl? They're both neutral. Das Fräulein, das Mädchen. How would a Mädchen be neutral? Meaning sexually neutral, not neither he nor she, but neutrum, neutral. Why would that be? Why would you call the girls in your world, in your country, it's an it? And they really have to say it. If they say, the girl, I gave the book to the girl, and it gave it back to me. That's what you have to say. You have to use it. You do not realize the beauty and the wonder and the possibilities, and also the flexibility and the potential of the German language until you speak it fairly well. The first couple of years are torture. You have to kind of bear with it, get through it, and then you discover a language that is really fascinating in a lot of ways, and really opens your mind to all kinds of different possibilities, looking at the world differently from how you've seen it before. But those 2 or 3 years in, I forget whether it was, maybe it was just 2 years, I don't know, in high school in Kailua, there were only 2 things that kept me in that classroom. One was the teacher, who was the most beautiful teacher in the school. She was fascinating. She was beautiful. She was just gorgeous, seriously. And the other thing was, at some point in that class, I fell in love with one word, which is Punkt. That word saved me. It was the sheer joy of saying these 3 consonants one after the other. Punkt. It's like a drum set in your mouth. In fact, I loved it so much. I wrote my first novel, when I was 19, my first horrible, failure of a novel, based around this word. It was a story about a tribe of barbarian, a fantasy world, a barbarian tribe who, go from all the way down, the Dreck of the world up to the, the most powerful nation in the world. And I call them the Punktsmen. It didn't work though. It kind of goes to show you what happens when what goes wrong when writers fall too much in love with a specific word. They think too much about the one word and not enough about the actual story they're trying to tell. So it's there's kind of a parable in there somewhere.
1, 2, 3, 4.